Welcome back, YouTube. So the most common question today has been, what's going on with the price action of Doge? What's going on in the market in general? Everything seems to be selling off and going through the floor. So we're going to take a deeper dive into this and look at some indicators and ultimately see where we're going to end up. We have broken support on the lower end. We went over this yesterday in the live. The 7.7, which was, I'm not going to draw it now because it's no longer respected. That was supposed to, we did get a bounce, but it did not end up holding us up. And we've broken below it now, and we got the breakdown to the downside. And this is something I talked about in my video when I said that we're in a good position because we have a cross above us and a cross below us. And depending on where we get the break, that'll be an indicator to kind of say, okay, where we're going to go over the next few weeks, notice in the short term here. And we got to break to the downside. So the bottom support gave up. The top resistance held up. So we got the first initial rejection at around 7.7, which was where we should have got the support. On the flip side, this was back on July 20th. We got their initial rejection at the 7.7, and we came back and we hit like the 9.3 roughly, 9.13, and then the 7.7 was then going to be support, but we ended up breaking through that. And now we're around 693. And ultimately we have a few levels here. This is the closest one. It's the 6.6. That's the closest one that we have to level of support. And I'm not going to lie here. We have a few bounces, so maybe it can hold up, but it's not the strongest level of support. But maybe it can hold up. And if not, we have another one, which is when we got that flash down to 593. And then we also have the low of the year, which is like the 5.2. Both of them, we got the flash crashes. The two bounces we got down here is a lot stronger, but we're already starting to hit the breaks at around the 693, and we actually have a positive bounce. So more than likely, this will give us an indication of we're going to go in the right direction. So ultimately, those are the next three levels of support. And technically, the support, as it is said, it works until it doesn't. But as of right now, we are relatively close to the next level of support. You'll see these massive sell-offs all over. You'll see Bitcoin getting hammered. Bitcoin is down to around the 21,079, and it's getting a bounce. We have a few bounces off of there. So Bitcoin support, at least at this level, is holding up. The biggest question, which is something we talked about a few weeks ago, is where are we going to go from here in the event that we got a break to the downside? We talked about market relief rallies and stuff like this, and this appears to be somewhat of a market relief rally. We're going to take a deeper dive into that in a moment. But the biggest thing as an indicator for where we're headed is if we're going to continue this trend here with Bitcoin. Bitcoin for the last two parts of its cycle has been having these rallies, sideways movement, and then it drops $10,000. And this is pretty much what we've been seeing here with literally when it plays with the 21-day moving average. This is the point where we have to kind of keep an eye on the market overall and Bitcoin's price action. Because every time we break below that, ever since, April, every time we break below that 21-day moving average, it's followed by a $10,000 drop in price. So we broke below the moving average on May 4th at 39,000, and then we bottomed out at around 28,000 on May 13th. Sideways, even a little bullish, going up. The 21-day at 31, break below it. We bottom out at 18. So and now we've just broken below the 21-day moving average. So the question is, if people have been asking me over the last couple of days, is it possible that we can see 10K Bitcoin? And we talked about this a while ago about the correction cycles and how a lot of the other coins can consolidate a lot faster than something like a Bitcoin because of the institutional proportions that are in it. So you'll see a lot of other coins reach max pain a lot faster. But historically speaking, it's very possible for Bitcoin to hit that around that $10,000, $11,000 range. That's very possible. There's a few points of resistance in there, 18,000, 14,000 or so. But historically, it's not out of range for that to happen. And based off of history here over the last two parts of the cycle since May of us breaking this 21-day, we've now broken the 21 for another $10,000 drop. Now, I do have a case for the price action in Dogecoin that we've seen, and I want to take a look at that so you guys can stay on par. So I'll say most people have been saying that initially when we had the price action, they were saying that, oh, it was the shorts. Shorts were attacking Doge, and that's why it was coming down. Not exactly. This is the first little bit, like you see, like them making a re-entry, like just recently, like within the last couple of hours. They've had a massive retraction in shorts, falling well below the 200-day moving average. And when you look at a lot of the price action, even in the stock market, and you look at VIX and stuff like that, there's been a lot of covering going on for these positions that these companies, hedge funds, and stuff have been short in. So, in part, the rally that we've seen could have been a run into the markets to acquire these assets to cover these short positions. Because technically, when you short something, you're a guaranteed buyer. The only way out of the short is when you acquire the asset and pretty much return the share, quote unquote. So if you have massive shorts, record shorts, and stuff like that, you come into the market, you do your buying, you exit those short positions, you can start a new one, bring them in lower and stuff like that. So that will like simultaneously give you an opportunity to spike a price up relatively high. But because you're shorting it and you're not interested in holding it, you turn around and sell it after you return the share, quote unquote. You can have that spike, and then it can consolidate back to where it was. That can certainly be a case for some of the spike in price action that we've seen. So when we look at coin market cap and stuff like that, those numbers being huge and being in the billions, I think we're absolutely right about that being institutional money. But I also believe that this is a great, per my short this morning, I also believe this is a great indicator for where institutional money is going to flow on the next bull cycle here. So what we're looking for over the next week or so is to find out where we're going to have support and where, if any of the more newer supports are going to hold up, primarily in Dogecoin, obviously, and in Bitcoin, to see if that 21, I'll say 18 to 21,000 for Bitcoin, and ultimately if this 6.6 floor is going to hold up for Doge. That's going to be our indicators going forward until the next week to see if we're going to build additional support there or simply get a bounce. That's all I have for the TA tonight. If you like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the morning. Thank you.